Hey guys, just making a video, and this is me at the moment. And I just wanted to make this video because actually I've recently, or over the last few years, I've put on a bit of weight on the raw food diet, and although I'm not really, kind of can almost see some muscle coming through there. It's something I've noticed, and something that I don't want to get any bigger. I want to go back to being as lean as I was. So I want to go over some of the reasons why I've put on some weight, and the major reason has been basically not having any restriction to my fat intake. So for quite a while, I was just eating I wasn't really eating 80-10-10. I was eating like way more fat than that. So there's a long time when I was eating a lot of nuts, particularly pistachios and avocados and tahini, and I was starting to add tahini to things. It was something I was experimenting with, and then the experiment sort of went out of control. But that was over quite a long period of time, and a while back, I've not been doing this at the moment, but there was a while as well when I was taking like garden peas that you get frozen, and I was defrosting them, adding some warm water, defrosting that, and then adding like this sauce with tomato and tahini, and I was doing that quite a lot. And just having these huge sort of binges on pretty high fat meals that were still basically raw, or pretty much raw, but then at the same time still eating a ton of fruit on top of that, still having loads of fruit after it, or loads of fruit before it. And the thing about this lifestyle, I didn't really realise I was putting on some weight at first, because I always, when you eat a lot of fruit, your belly sort of goes out anyway. So it's hard. So you look down and you see your belly going, and you just don't even think about it. But yeah, it's funny because this is the morning. I'm about 13 stone 4. So you can see I've put on. I guess when I've got clothes on or whatever, it looks. People have said, "Oh, you look like you're working out or something." It looks like I've got a bit thicker. But I've just been putting on some fat really, and I don't think it's any muscle at all, because I don't really work out enough to get any significant muscle. But yeah, it's going towards a bit of a dad bod. So the way I'm going to deal with this, I'm just going to go back to 80-10-10. I'm just going to go back to keeping an eye on low fat, and not eating so much fat. Staying away from the tahini, the nuts, the high fat gourmet stuff that I occasionally do, and not having loads of avocados and stuff like that. So I think as well, there's a couple of other reasons. I also went to a very sedentary job in which I was sitting down all day long, and I think I didn't realise how that reduced my calorie need really in the day. So I was still eating loads and loads, or eating a lot of calories, and yet I was what I'm trying to say, and yet I was needing less calories because I wasn't moving as much. At the same time, over the last few years since I put on the festival a couple of years ago, I think maybe it's related to stress. When I started to put on the fruit festival, I was under a lot of stress doing that at times. So maybe that changed my eating habits, and I was starting to eat compulsively and eat like bags of nuts and stuff like that and everything else. So certainly not been doing the perfect lifestyle. I mean, the first couple of years I was into 80-10-10, I don't think I ate any nuts, barely any seeds or anything like that. And I really got very slim. I got pretty lean, and maybe too much, I don't know, but certainly I was very lean, and and I kept it very low fat. And when I ever had high fat meals, I could really tell it straight away. So when I started to go towards eating nuts and things, I was kind of worried. I was worried about the amount of fat, and then eventually I just kind of didn't worry about it so much anymore. But it's not. It's not good. I've always had in my adult life, I've always had a pretty good digestive system, so I don't have these problems that some people have with food combinations and high fat foods. Like I digest all these things pretty well, but I can feel it in my mindset and I don't have the focus, I don't have the mental ability or whatever it is. I don't know what you'd call it, but I can feel I'm not as sharp when I have a lot of a high fat diet. So, and I've been falling too much, having too many days eating too high fat, and then going back and forth and having days of just eating fruit and whatever. But now I want to try and stick back to 80-10-10. So it's just a video to show people that even a couple of years into the lifestyle, you can still make mistakes, you can still go slightly off the path, but it's just about continuing to improve and getting a bit more organised and getting back to the discipline of trying to treat yourself as best as you can and trying to get the best fruit as possible. So it's definitely possible to put on weight in a raw food diet but at the same time, are nuts really raw and is tahini really raw, is things like that? If I just had avocados, would that have put on put on some weight? I don't know. As I say, I'm 13 stone 4 now. I don't know what you'd call that in other weight quantities. But I was down at, there was a time when I was like 10 stone 4 or something. So I put on probably 3 stone. Now I might have been underweight at the time when I was 10 stone 3, perhaps you could say that, I don't know. And definitely probably under muscled, probably didn't have a lot of muscle. But I remember that feeling so like a boxer, like I was lean like a boxer, like one of these guys that's been dehydrating himself and stuff to try and get lean for a boxing match. That's what I was like all the time. I was just that lean, and I think there's something great about being that lean. To be honest, I'm not that concerned about it. I just know that I'm going in the wrong direction. I need to put a hold on the fats, get back to 80-10-10, and sort of stick to it consistently, like I was doing a while back, like I have done now and then, but too many times slipping towards having some fat and it's so easy to eat a small amount of something that you prepare, or some nuts or some avocados, and it really takes your fat percentage really high in the day. If any of you don't understand what 80-10-10 is, it's a calorie-nutrient ratio. It's also a diet written by Dr. Doug Graham, which is basically the it's hard to remember how to say it. If you look at your calories over the course of a day, the concept is that for your ideal human health and performance, that you want to have over 80% of your calories coming from carbohydrates and less than 10% coming from fat. And there's a fat carbohydrate seesaw. So the more carbohydrates you eat, the less fat you eat, and the more fat you eat, the less carbohydrates you eat. And you want it to be high in carbohydrates, because carbohydrates is the best fuel for the human body. It's the most ideal. And fruits, in general, all fruits fall into that ratio. They're high in carbohydrate, low in fat, so they're perfect for us as a food in that sense. So that's a little bit about 80-10-10. You can read the book and find more at foodandsport.com. You can come to our festival, Fruit Fest, to learn more about that. There's a link down below. But just wanted to be open and honest about what I've been doing and things, and just not that this was something I consciously wanted to do, but through a number of factors, made some mistakes or changes, or just eating things that I didn't think was the best thing for me, but still I ended up putting on some weight. So, there you go. Sorry, and so it's not been cool. So once again, this is where I am at the moment, and still probably like slimmer than the average person, or it's something that a lot of people wouldn't notice. But I've also gained
you notice it when you move, and you notice it. You just realise, oh, I've put, you start to realise you've put on a bit of weight, and yeah. So that's me, and just gonna work on that for a while. Getting back to sticking to 8-10-10, and there's no need to overeat on the diet. There's no need to eat thousands and thousands of calories every single day, especially if you're not exercising at a high level. So anyway, I'm going to get on with my day. I'm going to have some pineapple, I think, and hope you're all well, and speak to you soon.